Welcome to the FWDG Showcase. With me today is Nick Desautels. He is one of the design consultants here, and we are going to talk about a new product that is coming to town.
Very
I'm really
exciting.
excited to talk about this. Yeah, before we started filming, you mentioned that people say, often say, they don't make furniture like they used to, but you're telling me that this company does make furniture like they used to.
They do. So the company we're talking about is Maven. They're an Amish company out of Ohio, and they make primarily wood products. So we're talking about bedrooms, dining rooms, occasional furniture, home office, which is very nice, and it's fully customizable. So you can build pretty much whatever your heart desires. They've got different wood types to select. It's all solid wood. They've got a million different stains. So if you're, missing home in Ohio and want it to look more that rustic feel, you can.
You want it dark.
If you want it nice and dark and classic, you can. Or if you really want to go in with the coastal, they've got some really light, breezy colors that you can still get with the high quality of the Amish.
That's interesting, because I don't normally think of big wooden furniture as being coastal, but it's kind of interesting that you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that they're big on is they really listen to their retailers. They listen to their client base. And, obviously as time progresses, people are moving away from that big honking furniture and trying to get something a little more streamlined, and their lines represent that. So when most people think of Amish furniture, like you said, it's very traditional, high quality, but maybe not what everybody's looking for. And they've done a good job at adapting to the times so that they can have a presence all over the country and still keep up with what people are wanting.
Sure.
So it's very exciting to see how they're progressing and keeping the quality of furniture, the heirloom quality craftsmanship, alive in a time where most people think it's kind of gone by the wayside.
Yeah, they're bringing it in. They're bringing it modern. So that's very
absolutely
cool. So since it's so customizable, how does somebody kind of visualize that? How do they know how to build that? How do they know what kind of wood they want? What will you have here to help them decide that?
Absolutely. So one of the really good things that they've invested in as a company is we're going to have a whole kiosk. You're going to have physical samples of the legs for their tables. You're going to have samples of all of their woods. So they've got, I want to say, 22 different stains and paints.
Wow.
Over 6 or 7 wood types. And once you select those, you can actually build them in a computer screen and get a full visualization of what it is you're building. So if you're wanting to build something funky, a square table on a pedestal, you can see the pieces, you can see the colors, and then you can actually build it in front of your eyes to make sure it's exactly what you're envisioning.
Yeah.
So not only do you have the physical samples, but they fully digitized everything so that you get a full sense of what you're ordering before you order it.
I mean, those are like kind of a lot of decisions. I mean, that's a lot of different stains, a lot of different woods.
It is.
So as a design consultant, do you help kind of walk people through that process and say,
Absolutely.
I've seen this work before, I've seen this maybe doesn't work quite as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, with a company that has over 1 million different things you can do, you can piece together over 1 million different pieces within their collection. It's important to kind of rein that down. But I do find with most customers that have a vision, it's just a matter of bridging the gap, right? Between what they have in their head when they come through the store and what we can actually build. And usually we can come very, very close with this line. Us as design consultants, we can work with the customer, we can pull the samples, we know the product to kind of make that vision come to life without it being overwhelming and having to play with every single piece and every single stain, every single wood type that they have. A few simple questions can narrow it down to make it very manageable and get to an end where you're happy with what piece you're purchasing.
Yeah,
so
what arrives at your home.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so speaking of arriving at your home, what kind of a time frame does this kind of a piece have? Because it sounds like it might be a little bit more intricate, but you said maybe not so much in the time frame.
Correct. So you would think, with, again, 1 million options, they're hand building it for you. This is old-fashioned Amish, so they are hand building this. They still are only taking, we'll say somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks. So in other words, if you come in and you have that vision, you're not waiting 6 months to have that executed. You get to, from the time we put in the order to the time it's delivered to your front door is very, very reasonable. And with that, it kind of helps to keep the excitement, right? You know, there's nothing worse than building something, going all the way in depth, and then you kind of forget what you build. With these guys, they're very quick, and they do it.
That's sort of a typical time frame for other lines too, right?
Pretty much anything. I mean, you take a lot of lines that are non-customizable, that are just stock goods, and they can still take that long. So to have a company that is building it for you, the exact pieces with your name on them and getting them to you that quickly, It's not something that very many people can do, and I've been very impressed with that in the past.
I was just going to say, pretty impressive,
Yeah.
pretty impressive. We've got about 10 seconds left, but
Yeah.
when will you expect to have the kiosk here and get this process started?
So knock on wood, it's an estimate, but we're hoping somewhere around mid-December. So, expect to see that in our showroom here very shortly.
Excellent. Well, Nick, thank you so much for being here today and sharing about this amazing product with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, and we'll see you next time on the FWDG Showcase.